Muslims are once again in the headlines of the British media, this time the topic of debate being whether the burqa should be banned in the UK, which all started after a politician in Parliament posed a question to Keir Starmer.
Given the Prime Minister's desire to strengthen strategic alignment with our European neighbours, will he, in the interests of public safety, follow the lead of France, Denmark, Belgium and others and ban the burqa?
This Reform UK politician was then interviewed by Talk TV, and this is what she had to say.
The burqa is a profoundly misogynistic item, in my view, and very offensive to our British culture.
So she begins by saying that the burqa is misogynistic, meaning that there is an inherent hatred and disgust for women by them wearing the burqa, as though a woman covering her face leads to her being hated, and therefore in her mind the opposite must be true, that a woman who shows her face is loved. And once again it cements this idea that the worth and the value of a woman is in her appearance, it's in her looks. So if she's not showing her face, then she's hated. But if she shows her face, then she can be loved. Secondly, this thing about the burqa being against British culture. Well, what is British culture? If a woman covering her body is against British culture, then does that mean that British culture is based on a woman uncovering her body? Is that what British culture is? Is it to reduce the amount of clothing and to increase the amount of skin?
And actually quite a threatening thing for British people to pass on the streets, or for children to have to come across in school, or whatever area of life it might be.
And now she tries to paint this picture that a woman wearing a burqa is a threat. It's a security issue now. When was the last time a woman wearing a burqa, wearing a niqab, was a real security threat to British society? Last time I checked, majority of crimes committed in the UK was not by a Muslim woman wearing a burqa. Majority of thieves are not Muslim women wearing the burqa. Majority of the capitalists looting the nation and increasing prices at will are not Muslim women wearing the burqa. In fact, just have a listen to the threat, to the security issue that these people are referring to.
I would like it banned for the obvious security reasons. Recently, a woman in a burqa driving a car was pulled up, and it turned out to be a 12-year-old boy.
Madness, absolute madness. This is a security issue that is threatening all of the UK. Apparently, according to this guy, a 12-year-old boy was wearing the burqa, driving a car illegally, and he was stopped by police. Wow, crazy. Whereas because of the burqa that he took the car, because it would have been impossible for him to wear a cap or a hoodie or a face mask, right? That's just not possible. I mean, to go out joyriding without a license or underage, that doesn't happen to anybody. No kids go out and drive their parents' car without permission joyriding without wearing a burqa. Absolutely pathetic. Wallahi, these people are clutching at straws. The reason why he cannot give an example of a crime being committed by people wearing burqas or niqabs is because they are not a security threat.
What I wanted to do, and I think I've absolutely achieved that, is to open up the debate. And that's exactly what we've done. That's, isn't it great that you and I are talking about it now? All the media's covering this, and that's what we need to do.
Notice here how she's openly admitting that she wants the limelight to be on this issue. She wants the attention and the questions and the entire narrative of the news to be about this issue. Once again, it's divisive politics, it's blame game politics, it's deflective politics. We're talking about less than 0.03% of the population wearing the burqa or the niqab, but this has become a national talking point. Why? Distraction. Deflective politics. There are so many real issues going on in the UK, but they want to talk about this. Just to try and make an even playing field, Talk TV brought on this Imam. This is what he had to say about banning the burqa.
It is not an issue for us in the UK. I'll tell you why it's not an issue. It's an Afghani national dress. If Afghani people want to wear burqa, I'm nobody to comment about it. I don't wear it. My families don't wear it. 99.99% of British Muslims don't wear it here.
So he starts off by saying that the burqa is just an Afghan national dress. Basically, it's got nothing to do with Islam. Now look, according to Islam, there are many different opinions about the dress code of a woman, ranging from the complete covering of her entire body to being able to show her hands, feet and face, and everything in between. Some say you can show the eyes, but not anything else. Some say you can show the hand and face. But you have different opinions in Islam, and so different Muslim women, they hold different opinions.
There are obviously security and identification problems.
This thing constantly being peddled that the burqa is a security issue or an identification issue. No, it's not. Every Muslim knows that when you go to the airport, for example, any Muslim lady wearing the niqab or the burqa can be taken to the side and a female officer can check their identity. It's not that big of a deal to make out as though it's a national security issue, a national identification issue. If it were the case that covering the face is such a massive national security issue, it's such a huge security threat, then the entire UK and world by extension would not have been forced to cover their faces for an entire year. Anyone remember COVID? Anyone remember the masks? Where was the security issue then? When people had to go to the banks or the airports, or when they had to get their identity checked, didn't they simply just show their face by removing the face mask and then putting it back again? Was it that much of a big deal on Halloween when you got millions of people who cover their faces in paint, in masks, in items of clothing? Is that not a security issue then? It's only a security issue when a Muslim lady chooses to cover her face from the eyes of men for the sake of her Lord. But if you're covering your face for health reasons, for festive seasons, or just because you're damn well ugly, that's completely fine. No security issue there.
Why is there a desire on the part of society for women to show more skin? So my daughter said to me, ask people, why do they want to see more of our skin?
Well, we just want to see the face.
So if we're talking about
it's not like looking at a load of skin, is it? We want to see their face.
You talk about civilization, you talk about showing skin. Once again, is the worth and the value of a woman just in her appearance?
Making women cover up their entire faces, walk around with those sinister big black things hanging over them. You don't think that's demeaning to women?
Making women, forcing women to wear these big, black, sinister, scary, evil-looking things on their faces. Number one, who's making women? Who's forcing women? Have you ever spoken to a Muslim woman? Have you ever asked them, why do they wear the hijab? Why do they wear the niqab? Why do they wear the burqa? Have you ever bothered to look them in the eye, if you're able to, of course, pun intended, and ask them, why do you wear that? Oh, because I'm forced to. I'm an oppressed little Muslim woman. Ask them. They will tell you straight up that they are Muslim women, they are slaves to their creator, and they are not a slave to any man or woman. They are not a slave to any government or regime. They are not a slave to any societal pressure or to any far right wingers. And this is what really ticks off certain people, that the West is that which you must be enslaved to. Liberalism as an ideology is that which you must be enslaved to. It shouldn't be your creator, it shouldn't be your God. And this is what really gets them going. They cannot put up with, and do I dare say, they are jealous of the fact that after centuries and centuries of colonization, after decades and decades of indoctrination, after getting Muslim women living here in the West, brought up like them, with fake beauty standards, with a fake understanding of what a value of a woman means, they are jealous of the fact that Muslim women were not brought into this superficial lifestyle where a woman's worth is purely based on her appearance. They are jealous of the fact that a Muslim woman put this behind her and said, you know what? I'm a Muslim woman, I am a slave to Allah the Creator. This thing about big, black, sinister, scary looking. If I'm scared of a goth, are you going to ban them now as well? Are you going to ban people painting their faces as clowns? If I'm scared of people dressing up as the opposite gender, are you going to ban that as well? Because I think it's scary and sinister. Can you see the line of thinking?
if a woman is forced to do anything, I will stand for the right of a woman to be free and not to be oppressed by men or women, or by Sarah, or like anybody to suggest that they can't choose a dress of their own. Whatever they want to wear, they're welcome to wear. I welcome it.
Apart from, look, I agree with you. I mean, liberty, freedom of choice, whatever you want to wear. But the full face cover, the full burqa, I think is demeaning to women. I think it presents many security problems, identification problems.
Women have the right to cover up, but only to a certain extent, which means they don't really have any right. It's an imposition upon them to show their face. And by the way, the reason why I decided to make this video is because yesterday the discussion is about banning the burqa. Tomorrow will be about the niqab. Then it's going to be about the hijab. Then it's going to be about dressing modestly. Is it really the case that a national discussion is taking place on stripping away the layers of clothing of a Muslim woman? If that's happening today, what's going to happen tomorrow? If today the burqa is a security issue and is demeaning and is sinister, well then can't they say the same about hijab tomorrow? And then dressing modestly after that? Where does it end? Where's the line? This is the real face of what it means. As innocent, defenseless Muslim women living in the UK, where they are now literally having a discussion about whether she's allowed to show her face. Just think about that for a moment. Reflect, and may Allah keep our sisters strong.